Welcome back to the Forex Fortress, and once again, here we are getting ready for a nice day of new opportunities, actually, of which I want to quickly reiterate the purpose of this series, which is just to be looking at very short-term timeframes on Forex, major US dollar pairings, and then check out a little bit of Bitcoin action as well, and then whatever else is relevant that's, in the, currently doing something. So with that in mind, let's start off with Dixie as always to get the general buys for all the major US dollar pairings, of which we did hit our downside target yesterday of not 32, but 93 bucks. Jesus, man, my dyslexia is like really fucking me up recently. I wonder what's going on with that. And we did get a smally little bounce right there from about 93 all the way back up to a very pitiful 93 and 12.5 cents, and then coming down for our lower areas, of which that is likely to produce another small little bounce right here, of which I do believe that we're playing out right now. Now, with that in mind though, the medium and longer term timeframes, I do still think come down and grind out the same area that we've been looking at for the past, realistically the past like half year, actually going all the way down to about 92 and a quarter. And this is just very simply put, that same level that's been holding this baby up and putting in our what would be a higher low on the macro scale. So looking at this weekly right here, yeah, I do think that we're going to grind this area back on out, but I still would be looking for a greater bounce on the whole here. So again, putting all the puzzle pieces together, short term down, medium term down, long term probably within a bottoming area, but still probably looking for another about $0.50 down from where we are right now in order to play that out. So with that in mind, let's go into our major US dollar pairings. We'll start off with Aussie Dollar today. And Aussie Dollar, I think it's actually important to reflect upon the weekly, even though that this is supposed to be focused on low-term timeframes. This is looking like a macro reversal, or not a macro reversal. It's looking like macro continuation to the downside from this region, of which on the lower-term timeframes, I really don't feel like I have a good read on this one. We were bearish on this one yesterday and came down to our level right around about, I think I was saying 70 spot 2 right here. And we just about got there. Sorry, I was actually probably saying right around this level right here, which is basically the same thing. And I do think that this one does likely come back down, but realistically on the daily here, I'm not too enamored with this one. It certainly would not be the one that I want to be trading right now. But yeah, overall, very likely looking for this one to go lower over time. How much time does that take? It could be weeks realistically. So very short term, I do think that this likely does turn into a local high. We will come back down somewhere around that 70 spot 30 region, back down around yesterday's low. And then what happens after that, I think we'll just come back tomorrow and see what the damage is. But for right now, yes, looking like another lower high to me. Do we have any potential hidden bearish divergence in play right now? Potentially yes, as we do have significantly higher highs on RSI compared to this significantly higher high on price action right here. But then again, this is not confirmed as a local high just yet. So what would be the lowest term time frame that we can go over here to confirm this on? Maybe a buy hourly. If we come back down below 70.71, then yes, that would be confirmed, and then yes, I'd be looking for a tradable move back down here towards 70.30. Of course, it's not financial advisor, I'm not a financial advisor, but yeah, wouldn't be my favorite one to be trading today. Looking at Cad Dollar, what did we see? Short term down. Yesterday though, we did say a little bit of uppity up, of which we did hit our target right around 76 and some odd change, 76 and a half, I believe it was. And now short term, yes, I would be looking for this one to come back down, but long term, I actually do like this one still, or at least on the daily, I still like this one with some short term down, probably back down to this level right here at about 76 even, and then I'd be looking for a little bit of a short-term bounce right there alongside the 10 simple and also our 4-hour major areas right there as well. So with that in mind, yeah, a little bit of very short-term down, and then I would be looking for a bouncy bounce somewhere around here. And then let's take a look at the daily once again. Yeah, daily I kind of do like here. What about the weekly? Weekly's okay as well, although being currently pushed back by the 200 exponential average on it. I'd really want to see how this one closes on the weekly before giving further judgment. So again, very short term down, and then I'd be looking for a bounce around that, I think it was 76 even level. What else do we got? We got Euro Pound right here. What do we see? Euro Pound looking long term bullish to me. What about short term? Short term coming back down. Yesterday we did say a move back up towards about 91.5 cents. We got that move, and then immediately sold off on up. After that, I didn't say anything about that, so fair enough. But at the end of the day, that is why I do like to keep these things more in the short-term time frames. Looking at the 4-hour right here, do I think that this one comes back down and tests around 90.40, 90.45 region? Probably yes, but I do think that it will hold that region and probably give another try to the upside overall. I really want to reiterate that on the daily here, I would be looking for a greater try to the upside, probably around just below 92 cents it looks like. So again, long term still fine. Short term, a little bit more downside. I don't have a strong opinion on this area right here. Just I would be looking for anything around here to likely get picked up. Again, that would be the 90.30 to 90.40-ish region on the lower term time frames. What do we have on Euro Dollar? Yesterday we were bullish. Are we still bullish on this one? Actually, we did hit our target pretty much to the T on this one. I really just like using more. I just fucking hate it when other people say, we hit my targets were hit and it was precise decimal to decimal. It's like, you can't really do that. I mean, trading is a game of statistics and probability. In this case right here, yeah, it did hit that area. Now backing off from it. And do we suspect that there's going to be more on this run? Yes, I do think so on the daily, but does that really relate to the 4 hour right here? No, not really. 4 hour likely does come back down and test somewhere around 181 and some odd change. I'd say about 181 spot 1 region is where I'd be looking towards. Maybe the hourly will be more suggestive of this, and yeah, still looking somewhere back down around there, like 181 to about 180 even base, and then I'll be looking for a bouncy bounce. I do think that this one gives another try to the upside. Alongside momentum also is keeping it nice and north angled. And what about the weekly? Yeah, weekly looks good here as well. So overall, I actually do think that this one will test upwards towards about a little bit north of 119. So again, it's very important to keep the greater time frame look on this one, just because, or on a lot of these actually today, because yes, the short term is actually up to what we're seeing on the more long-term time frames. What about pound yen? Oh, it's kitchen time. Oh, guess what? Kitchen time is in the afternoon now. Reschedule that shit. Jesus Christ. Spoons are ready right now, and spoon boys, I can't have enough of that. Looking at pound yen, short-term up. I think yesterday, what did we say on this one yesterday? I don't even know what we said on this one yesterday. It looks all sorts of fucked up. But I'd be looking for this one to pop back up towards about 137 and 34 cents. Let's see what the daily looks like. Yeah, same thing. I forget what we said yesterday. I probably was bearish on this one yesterday, but I don't feel all that confident about this one either, to be fair. I think that this one is actually short term and medium term looking for a pop back up. So anywhere around 137 and like 30ish, 30 and some odd change cents would look about right to me. And then we'll come back and check it tomorrow. What about pound dollar? What do we see here? Hitting our top side target right around 130 and 3/4, of which I'd be looking for a little bit of a short term pullback, maybe even back down towards 130 base even, and then I'd be looking for it to give another try, because long term this one is still bullish, at least on the daily. And while we do see probably a little bit of a pullback today, I do think that this one will try higher over the next week or two, probably up towards actually like 131.5 region, especially if we take out the 12th of October high at 130.82.8. Then yes, I would look for that continuation play. This one overall looks good, and I would generally just be bullish on this one as it stands. What about yen dollar? We were bullish on this one yesterday. I'd be bullish on this one again today. Due to that, we hit our target from yesterday somewhere around 95.20-ish region. I would extend that all the way up towards about 95.50-ish region, actually. Looking good on the daily. What about the low-term timeframes? Low-term timeframes, maybe a short-term pullback. We're kind of seeing something similar across most of the markets right now. Short-term looks like pullbacks on most of these US dollar pairings. Long-term still looks like we got some more room for some upside. And yeah, on this one right here, probably back down maybe to like 95.10, 95 even, somewhere around this range right here. Putting a little bit of a local high as it stands right now. But yes, I do look for this one to try a little bit higher over the next, over the next few days actually. What about what else do we got? We got Swiss franc dollar over here. We were bullish on this one yesterday as well. I believe we got a target right around about 110.45, of which we actually exceeded that one. And would I extend this one a little bit more? Yeah, anywhere around about 111 actually is where I'd be looking for on this run, according to the daily. What about in low-term timeframes right here? What do you know? Probably short-term pullback as it is on the short-term timeframes. Perhaps back down somewhere around about 110.10 region. Let's see how that lines up on the daily as well. Looking for this little prior high right here. It'd be about 110.05 to 110.10 region. Although that would actually not really follow on the daily. You know what? No. I do take that back. I don't have a strong opinion on the low-term timeframes. This does look a little bit pulley-backy here, maybe back down to like 110.40. But I'd keep the focus on the daily. I don't feel too strong about the lower-term timeframes. I feel strongly about the daily. I would extend targets to the upside, 111-ish region, and then probably another pullback from that region on the daily as well. What about gold? What do we see on gold? Gold gonna try. Oh my God, man! I would have gotten faked out so much in the last half week on gold. I would have been looking for a move back down to 1880 yesterday. I was probably, and the day before that, I was probably looking for a move towards 1930. What do I say with this one? You know, looking at everything else, as I do kind of put in similar formations here, is it likely that we try again to the upside somewhere around 1930 or 1935-ish region? Probably yes, but realistically, this one I don't, you know. I'm mostly going off the rest of the market for this one. If anything, lower term timeframes, I mean, just looks like a local high right here. You know, probably short term pullback back down to the right bold price about 1908. But this one's very obviously baking in a nice little pattern right here. And resolution will be had if we just plot a nice little horizontal right there. Okay, let me actually just delete everything on this chart. Although maybe I didn't want to do that because fuck it, whatever. Can always remake it. You know, the resolution outside of this range right here is likely to drive the next big piece of price action. So that would be above 1930-ish region. I'd be looking for moves back up to about 1960-ish region, right around here. And to the downside, I'd be looking for moves likely back down to this last little prior low block, somewhere around 1860 to 1850-ish region. So that's kind of what's at stake right now. I'd probably just wait for resolution on this range or trade on the peripheries here, mostly because everything else is going to try some upside. Yes, so I'd imagine that gold does as well. If I had to call it right now, does gold break to the upside? Probably yes. But I think that there's just more obvious things to be trading right now. Do we want to follow up on Swedish krona, US dollar as well? Short term down. What about daily? Daily did hit our target to the upside, I believe. We were looking for about 1140-ish region 1140 to 1150. No. It'd be 1140 to 1145, and we did get that region. Yes, short term down, probably coming back down to about 1130 to 1135-ish region. Be looking for another bounce right there. Long term though, I do like it actually. I do quite like this as it stands right now, but still want to see the weekly closure. So you're seeing a lot of bifurcation now. It was kind of like the opposite of yesterday. Yesterday, a lot of things were on the same side. Today, the other way around. Short term timeframes trading a little bit obtuse to what we see on the on the daily and higher term timeframes. So I do think that that's usually going to be a little bit of a cautionary sign. And let's do a little quick round on Bitcoin as well. See if there's anything new to be speaking about right here. Yeah, we did say in this morning's video that Bitcoin probably going to give another try back up towards about 12,400 to 12,450. I believe we're seeing that right now. Actually, we almost just got there, 12,350-ish region. I still think another 50 to 100 bucks on top of that, and then likely a short-term time frame pullback. How long does that take? I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see this before tomorrow's morning video or not. But realistically, I'd be looking for a range to be established basically between about 12.4, we'll call it, and 12,000 even. And let's just take everything off right there and look at our levels right here. Let me get rid of that because it's not really relevant to what we're talking about right now, although it is relevant for the long term. And what do you know? Yeah, about 12,400 to 12,450 right here. I probably would be looking for a pullback and then probably come back down and test somewhere around that 12 to 12.1-ish region, and hopefully set in a base there for the Bitcoin boo laws. Let's see what the lower term timeframes are looking like right now. Yeah, there will very likely be some divergences being formed on the hourly here, but still technically not there just yet, to be fair. So it's actually kind of funny as it is, because until you actually confirm a local high right here, you will by definition not have divergence. But once that does start to play out, then yeah, I'd start to look for a move back down to $12,000 base or 12.1, whatever it ends up being. What about the buy hourly? Is it building up the same sort of thing? Actually, no, which is rather interesting here. Very, very interesting, in fact. So do keep that in mind. Could I be completely wrong that this one just blasts up above 12.4 and reaches for 13,000 after that? Possibly yes. Let's see. What would I be looking for if Bitcoin does actually just blast above, let's call it 12.4? Let's see. We're gonna have to go back in the history. Hey, get the fuck out of my face. All right. Next relevant level would be about 12.6 right here. Above there, you got basically 13,000. So there you go. But that's I'm really only looking for that to happen like almost quickly if Bitcoin does close this next daily or 12-hour above 12,000. And what is this? 350? Yeah, about 350. It looks like right there. What is our closing price? Actually, it's 12,300 and even. See, it's a 12 are the same. It's probably going to be the same. Yes, indeed it is. Fair enough. That actually, maybe we already saw the pullback on the lower term timeframes. We did just play out from this morning's video all the way from 12.3 to 12.1. Is that relevant? With a 12-hour close in the next 5 minutes, I mean, this one actually does have a chance to confirm above this region. I might have to extend these targets higher. This is looking good right here. It would not really be wise of me to be looking for a pullback right now, if not for anything on the very low term timeframes. I feel like this is going to end up in some very floaty areas if we do close this next 12 hour above 12.3. There's probably going to be some nice volatility in the short-term timeframes, but I would keep a keen eye on about 12.6 and then 13,000 actually. So fair enough. Feels a little bit weird to say right now, to be honest with you. It feels very weird in a lot of ways to say, but yeah, actually, we got 4 minutes to go. It's looking pretty damn good right now. So fair enough. I'd also like to see a 4 hour closure above 12,450-ish region. So for now, I'd probably still stick with what I've been saying, in the video this morning. Probably does brush up into this region. Do we actually see a full on closure above it? That remains to be seen. I'd probably look for a range to be established here first. And then if Bitcoin does break this range, again, 12,450 to the upside, then I'm looking for extension to 12,6 and then 13,000 are the next relevant areas. Again, I feel a little bit strange saying it, but looking at momentum oscillators right now, do we have one more blow off before this next run comes into a nice little consolidation phase? 4 hours still nice and up and north, but a little bit frothy there to be fair. What do we see on the 3 hour? Same thing. Snaking around a little bit again. I do think that this run is nearing a little bit of a more pulley back area though, to be fair. 2 hours showing the same thing. What about the hourly? Gonna give another cross the upside, so probably another stab a little bit more north, but does it actually initiate those next moves? I probably played this one a little bit more on the conservative side. Here's what the 12 hour says as well. 12 hour still looks good to me. 12 hour still looks very, very healthy to me long term. Just playing off this trend line right here that we spoke about on this morning's video. Probably would be looking for that to actually get officially into the critical zone and then perhaps a little bit beyond. 12 hour RSI very constructive as well. Going to be getting out of the critical, or going to be getting into the critical zone soon as well. So probably do look for a little bit of drama around that region. Long term though, really like it. So any sort of a pullback from that region, I would be interested in playing actually. But for right now, I'd probably just hold off and just let Bitcoin do her thing because she is looking nice and green and girthy. And with that said, I'd like to leave you off right there. This has been Forex in 15 minutes, I guess. And with that, and as always, I'd like to wish you the best and the happiest. Until next time, take care and see you tomorrow morning.